Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I currently have a giant zit. It's just swollen and I have like a tiny pus in the middle. It's the only really noticeable breakout that I have right now. Thank you, Accutane, because all the other ones are tiny and yeah, not that big of a deal, but when I'm standing and sitting right here in front of the camera, from distance away, you can see it. But anyways, today's video, I'm going to update you guys a little bit on my life. I was apprehensive making this video because I usually like to make videos that add value to people, to my viewers, whether it's entertainment. I know a lot of my videos are really random, but I do like to share my tips and advice and all sorts of stuff like that. But I'm making this video because it reminded me, because I was watching I like watching YouTube videos. Like, I've been that way since a very long time. I've always loved YouTube, and it wasn't until recently that I finally decided to make a YouTube channel myself. But a lot of videos I watch, I support other people and just genuinely like other people's content and stuff like that. But sometimes I don't understand why I watch these things until later. Then I'll figure out like, oh yeah, I liked it because of this and that. Recently I watched a video about this girl. She broke up with her fiance, like probably the third time. I'm not trying to be negative about her, but I'm not going through a breakup, so it's like, why do I watch those videos? But it made me think, when I was watching them, made me realize I have actually a connection to what she's saying. Not directly, but more like indirectly. What the message that I got out of the video is making tough life decisions. And I admire her for, making a YouTube video and trying to make a clearer path for herself in her life. So, as you can already tell by the title of this video, well, you don't know, I recently sold my goats, and if you guys really know me, I love animals, and I'm really emotionally connected to a lot of things. I'm emotionally attached to a lot of things, and it's probably the toughest decision I've ever had to make in my life. And you guys are thinking like, wow, what? I mean, they're animals, but I get really emotionally attached to things, and it's important to me, and I just want to inspire other people and show other people that, we can't get everything that we want. We've got to make sacrifices in our life to get where we really want to be. So, and also you guys know that I have animals. I have a lot of animals, and I love them. My mom and I love them. It's my dogs in the back. Watching that girl's video kind of gave me a perspective on the fact, kind of reopened my eyes and gave me perspective about the idea of making tough decisions in your life. So whether you're watching a YouTube video, you may not relate to it, you probably subconsciously are connected to it, and it takes you a while to figure out the whole meaning of why you're watching it. For me, I made that connection through, making tough decisions. I'm not going through a breakup in my life, but she definitely opened my eyes, so I'm hoping that I can transpire and I can translate that through this video. So yeah, my whole story, I'm gonna get into that. So the reason why I made that decision to sell my goats is because it's very hard to take care of them. They're great animals, they're very cute, they're very loving. A lot of them that I've owned, they are become really friendly. I noticed that when I like scratch them, they love it and they start bonding with me. Even the older ones, you'd think that the best way to get them to be really nice to you and friendly with you is to raise them when they're young. That's true, but I found a way to actually kind of break that stigma and bond with them is they're scratching them. Hey, Spud. Hi, Munchkin. I don't know, doing things that they really like. So it's very easy for me to connect with them. I used to like to say that I am a Capricorn. That's why I love goats, because if you guys don't know the zodiac sign Capricorn, I'm born in January. They're a sea goat. But I don't really believe in zodiac so much because I don't really feel like I'm my zodiac at all. I know a lot of other people are very much like their signs, but I don't know, I don't feel like I relate to that. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, they're very friendly, but it's very hard to take care of them. When my mom and I moved here to Hawaii almost 5 years ago, we wanted a lot of animals. We can own land, a lot of land here in Hawaii. A lot of people farm here. And growing up, my mom always talked about how much she loved farm animals, loved animals in general. Throughout my whole life, pretty much, she's talked about how she was raised on a farm in Vietnam, where she grew up, where she was born. And so she's always wanted to relive her childhood with a bunch of fruit trees, because she's from a tropical area, and she just always expressed how much she loved and missed those tropical fruit trees and farm animals. And when she moved to California, you can't really grow all these exotic fruits and tropical fruits, so she's always talking about how much she missed them. So we moved here, and she got everything that she wanted in her childhood. So we purchased land, and we started putting a whole bunch of animals on it. And little do we know how much work that is. We don't know. Now, 5 years later, we can honestly say, like, we really don't know what we're doing. And we definitely learned and made a lot of mistakes along the way. We've had, like, about 50 animals in total at one point. And right now, we have a lot less. Some of them we had to sell, and some of them just died. Actually, majority of them died. A lot of my chickens, I'm down to 7 chickens, and I think I've had like 20 chickens at one point before. I had a lot before, and a lot of them currently are missing because they've been getting eaten by this creature called mongoose. They're kind of like the island's squirrel, because we don't have squirrels here, but they're not friendly squirrels. They're like vicious fang ferret. They definitely prey on birds and stuff and eggs, and that sucks. And we can't do anything about that. So yeah, we have a lot less chickens. We had ducks. A lot of them died or went missing, and we sold them too. And we have goats, we have rabbits right now, and we have geese. Yeah, a lot of animals. I have dogs. So right now, we have sheep right now, and we are down to 2 goats now because I sold majority of them. I made the decision to sell them mainly because they just require a lot of maintenance. A lot of them die because of the parasitic environment. They're not anti-parasitic, so a lot of this, that's one of my chickens. When they eat grass, you know, sometimes they'll pick up the parasites and the organisms that can harm them, and their body they're not strong enough. They don't have a strong immune system to fight it like we learned the sheep are. And so a lot of them died, and it's really hard to watch them like get weaker and weaker, and they lose weight, they lose appetite, and they start having diarrhea, and they just die left and right. And my whole property has become like a pet cemetery. It's a lot of times my mom and I had to like bury them in the rain. We have to bury them because if we leave them out in the open, obviously, number one, it smells, and you know, other scavenger animals are gonna go eat it, and we don't want any of those other animals eating on our property. And we love our goats so much, we don't want to see them all torn apart by these other organisms, so we respectfully bury them. And no, we don't eat any of them. This is just an animal sanctuary. We respect all our animals, and they're our family, so anytime they die, we bury them. So yeah, it's really hard to watch, and you know, we don't really know exactly what we're doing. We've gotten medication to like flush out the viruses, but you constantly have to do that. And we had so many goats, and you have to watch them poop to make sure they poop like black beans instead of like mushy poop, because that's how you know they ingested some parasites and stuff like that. So it's a lot. Medication is really expensive. I used to think that when I didn't think at all when I got goats. I just thought they were cute and I wanted them. When we moved here, I was just like, when we were thinking putting animals, I immediately thought of goats because I just see them all over the internet, how cute they are, and I just wanted them. I didn't think of how to take care of them. I just thought they eat grass and water and they're great lawn mowers. And we have a lot of land, so besides pets, that's what we use them for. We use the chickens for the eggs and stuff like that. So every animal has their purpose. Even our geese mow our lawn too. They're great lawn mowers and they're great watchdogs. They bite. They don't like any trespassers at all. So that's great. They don't respect any stranger. They'll come up and attack you. So yeah, when our guy that comes around to check our electric meter to, charge us for using the electricity every month, our electric bill, there's a guy that comes in to read our meter like once a month or every so often, and he used to be so afraid of our geese because they would come up and attack us. He has to come through our land and like go read the meter, and so my geese would always attack him. But we lock them up back there and they're just eating grass back there. Anyways, back to the goats. So in total, I had 18 goats if they were all alive. A lot of them, when they died, we would like replace them by a new one, and we have 8 in the ground already, and it just got out of hand how many times they got diarrhea and how much we had to feed them medication.
Well, he's the hardest one to get vaccinated. So we have to tie him down and flip him backward. He got no horns at all. So it's so hard, but we got him down. So now we need to give him some medication.
Rather than going through the heartbreak of watching him die, and even though I know you can say like, oh, we can take him to the vet, not every vet is going to solve the problem. Like, I've taken my dogs to the vet and they charged me $600 and they didn't do anything, and we ended up figuring out what the problem was in the end by ourselves, with no doctor. So a lot of times it's like a hit or miss. Doctors are not God, so a lot of these goat owners, they just go by experience, how to treat their own animals, because it can get expensive. It's just really hard, like, to watch them die when you can't do anything about it, because even though we have some medications, it's kind of, we're like playing a guessing game, because sometimes it doesn't work and then they end up dying anyway, and I just get so sad about it. It's just hard. Like, we were thinking of getting cows at one point too, because they're so cute, and they would eat our grass and mow our lawn. But I can't imagine, like, I would tell my mom, like, oh, I'm glad we didn't get a cow, because imagine if they died and then it's like we have to go drag their body to go bury it in the ground, and it's already hard enough for my mom and I to drag a 150-pound goat and put it in a hole. We have to go dig a hole, and it's just a lot. And we don't know anything about cows, so imagine if they die and then we have to go bury it. It just doesn't seem realistic. So, and I had so many different goats. I've had really small ones and I've had really big ones the size of Great Danes, and the ones that are the size of Great Danes are just really, really heavy. A lot of them have horns, so that's nice. You can grab onto them while we give them medication in the mouth, but it was like last month where we just finally, it was like the last straw, because we thought that one of our bigger goats had blood in his stool, and my mom read somewhere that if they have blood in their stool, it's too late, you can't treat them. That's when I decided to finally sell them. I didn't want to sell them at all. It was really hard selling them because I know majority of this place, this island, people eat them, and I learned somewhere that like 90% of the world eats goat. That's like the common meat in the world, except for the United States. The United States is probably like within that 3 to 10% that doesn't really consume goat all that much. So I just didn't want to sell them to, you know, you can't guarantee that they're gonna go to a good home, you know, because people, well, we asked some of them, the people that we sold them to, like, are you gonna eat them? Like, please don't eat them. And they're like, oh no, we don't eat them. You know, they can lie to us. What are we to them? You know, they paid us and that's it. They can do whatever they want to the animal, and it's just really heartbreaking to me, especially, it's like they're my children. You don't want to sell your children, you know? So I was crying a lot. The first ones to go were the ones that were really special to us. I don't like to play favorites because I love goats. I love all my animals, and I don't think that we should favor anybody, whether it's your children or, you know, your pets. But these were very good goats. They're very cute. I'll show you pictures and I'll show you a video. They know their names and I'll call them, and they're very, this one's Spud. He's very, very affectionate. I've never seen a goat like that before. I loved him very much, and he was the first one to go. We actually grouped them together because we didn't want to separate them, because, you know, animals have feelings. They'll cry when they're alone. We had a goat over there, our neighbor's goat. He only had one goat on his land, and he would always cry, and we had a lot of goats over here. So we'd always be jealous and like, why can't I join them and be friends? And so we make sure that, knowing that they do feel loneliness, we make sure that we sold them in pairs. Spud went with his friend Lucky, and then we have a mom and her 2 sons. They would always sit together. One of them died actually recently, so we made sure that the mom and the other son, were in good shape and good health, and they won't die when we sell them. We grouped them together, and it was really hard to let them go. I still miss them all the time. Sometimes I have dreams of like stealing them back and giving the new owners money, and so I really didn't want to do that, but like I said, that's where the hard decision comes into play. We have to think about ourselves and our sanity. Like, this is the best decision for us because it will save us from a lot of heartbreak. We don't have to watch them die, and the upkeep and maintaining them and the stress that comes along with that. So this is maybe a lesson for the people that want to own goats. I've seen people treat goats as like a dog, like they have them as a house pet. I think that would be a safer option. We got goats to eat our grass, like they're our lawnmowers. All our neighbors pay for lawnmowers, and it's really, really, really expensive. And a lot of, not lawnmowers, a lot of gardeners don't want to do the work because, you know, people own a lot of land here, and the land is not like flat. It's like hills and bumps, and it's just really crazy to drag up the the lawnmower up hills and crevices and stuff like that. And it's really, really expensive. So goats is the cheaper option. That's what I thought. I used to tell my neighbors, you just need to give them grass and water and they're good. But that is far from the truth, because they get sick from what's in the grass. That statement pertains more to sheep, actually, because sheep are the ones that I've never had a problem with sheep, and the sheep are the first farm animals that we bought when we first moved here, because here in Hawaii, you get a deduction from property tax if you claim tax as agriculture or ag, and if they see that you have farm animals on your land, they consider that like an exemption. So yeah, it's really nice to have. We couldn't get goats right away when we got the land, so we got the first 2 animals that we got were sheep, and we got goats after. And ever since we've owned sheep longer than goats, they haven't died yet. And now we have 4 in total, and it's hard to get the sheep because we're trying to get more sheep than goats, and now it's really hard to get, but they don't have any parasitic problems at all. It's really interesting. You really do just need to give them grass and water. And another thing about goats is that they get bored of their food, so they like to escape a lot and try to climb and get to other plants, and like the sheep, where the sheep just stick to grass and they're good. They don't care for all the other plants. They do their job. So that's why we sold them. Super tough decision because I love goats. But we did it for our sanity, and we put all our goats, we had 10 goats left. We had put all our goats on not Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, because that's where we bought them from, and we sold them for how much we bought them for, and they went by quick. Like, people want goats. I think mainly to eat them. I have no control of that, and that's what really bothers me, because these animals trust us, and it's I just don't understand. Like, all my coworkers at work know that I have, like, word of mouth, they know that I own land and I have goats, and a lot of them ask me if I sell them so they can eat them, and I just get so annoyed and pissed off about that they eat them, and I just can't imagine them slaughtering my animals. It's just so heartbreaking. I could cry right now, but there's nothing I can do about that. When it comes to my goats and my animals, I don't care how much you pay me, I don't care that it sells quick. I'm just reluctantly doing this because my mom and I don't want to live with the stress and the emotional pain that these animals brought on us. Like, they're just so special to us, but it's just so much to take care of. It's so stressful. I hated bothering people. Like, when my goats had a problem, I hated bothering people. Bother people on the internet to answer my questions and like what to do, and no matter what, they still die, and it's horrible. So anyways, now we're down. I'm rambling, I'm so sorry. So the first goats that we sold, they sold out really quickly. We put all our goats on Craigslist, and the only 2 ones that nobody questioned about or wanted to buy are my last 2 goats that I have right now. So we were planning to sell all of them, but because no one was asking us about these last 2 goats, I decided to keep them. I just wanted to have some goats, I can have more sheep, but I just need at least 2 goats. I realized, I just need that for my heart. I just love them. So I can compromise with myself and just have 2. So yeah, 2 is really good to monitor. So what we've been doing now is watching for their poops. It has to be black beans, like I said. If we catch them on time when they have a problem with their poop, we can medicate them right away and they'll be good to go. But if we leave them longer without treating them, they'll die. That was the problem with a lot of our goats, because we had so many that because we had so many, it was hard to monitor them. So, yep. That's my life update. You guys know I have animals, so that's also another reason why I decided to share this with you guys, because people that watch my videos and probably wondering, I don't show that much of my goats because I don't really have that many anymore. It's just the sad reality, but I don't want to say I feel better. I feel less stressed about it, that's for sure. I do worry about my animals getting eaten, but that's the tough part of life. You can't get everything you want, so you have to make tough decisions to better your life. And this was definitely the toughest decision I've ever made. I was very hesitant to finally sell, but I didn't want to feel how I did before again. So I had to do what's best for my household. Anyways, I hope this kind of gives you a perspective about making decisions, and also for any of you that are looking into buying goats, because I have neighbors that are would look at our property, and we're well known for our animals in our subdivision. Oh, my neighbors, little kids would come over and always like to hang out with our animals. Our neighbors would get inspired. They told us that they want goats too, but I hope this video lets you know that they're not really easy to take care of unless you keep them in your house. But if you're keeping them on your property, letting them sleep outside and roam around, they're very, very high maintenance. Unfortunately, they're cute, but they can be a handful. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's all I have. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you in another video. See you in the next one. Bye. Oh, actually, before I go, I wanted to show you guys what my yard is looking like. The grass is growing a little more because I have less animals, but here's what it looks like. So right now I only have 4 goats. I'm really only going to be down to 2 goats. Those 2 other goats, those females, we have somebody going to pick them up next month. These 2 are what's left, Oreo and his brother Rusty. And this is what our land looks like. That's it. Bye guys.